Welcome to Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your host, Jen Trepic, talking wellness and weight loss for real life. We're here to clear up the myths, misinformation, bad science, and marketing to teach you how to eat and how to cheat. Are you ready? I'm having salad with a side of fries. This week, we're talking about a microwave mindset. So I was in a continuing education seminar, and two of the doctors speaking used this phrase. And when they said it, I said to myself, OMG, like, yes, right? So let's talk through it. And I think the place to start is to understand the microwave for a second. So according to the American Physical Society, self-taught engineer Percy Spencer filed the first patent for the microwave in 1945. So he was a scientist working with a live radar set that was emitting microwave signals. And he noticed that the chocolate bar in his pocket melted. So he determined that it was the radar's compact cavity magnetron tube, say that 10 times fast, that was heating the chocolate. He then experimented with heating foods, and what we now know as the microwave was born. But it wasn't really until the 1970s that it became commonplace in people's homes. Part of this actually had to do with just the price of parts, right? Like the price for these appliances just became much more affordable and accessible. But it also tracks to even the 1950s when frozen meals came to be, and this whole idea of convenience, right? Logically, we learned time is money, convenience is real, faster is better. And so fast forward a little bit. By 1997, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, 9 out of 10 American homes had a microwave. Now, a piece of this that I think is also sort of interesting and plays into this is what a microwave actually does. So it heats food through electromagnetic radiation. And there is quite a bit of debate over whether these microwaves or electromagnetic radiation degrades the quality of the food or not. You know, whether it impacts the molecular and chemical compounds in the food. And so if you start searching the internet and you go looking for the research, you're going to see a lot on both sides. But the fact that it's a debate might be enough to give us pause and to play into this idea of the microwave mentality. So essentially, the microwave was potentially like the beginning of our very rapid escalation or devolvement into impatience, right? Today, even over the last few years, social media in general, our phones have exacerbated the desire, or maybe I should say need, for immediate gratification. Right? For distraction, for avoidance of things that take time. Like, I will admit, I am an impatient human. You know, I'm standing in line somewhere, I'm pulling out my phone. You know, I'm in an elevator, I'm pulling out my phone. I listen to podcasts and audiobooks at well over, 1.5, maybe sometimes, depending on the show, 1.8, 2 times speed. So I am right there with you, right? We have this instinct that we're impatient. We need things faster and more. And so the microwave mentality is wanting everything done quickly, no matter what. Because potentially, no matter what it may or may not be doing to our food, no matter what it may or may not be doing to our bodies, to our health, to our minds. So the microwave mentality shows up in our health efforts, right? As a society, we are drawn to the quick fixes, the magic pill, the thing that promises the fastest results. And we also hear slow and steady wins the race, right? We didn't gain the weight overnight. It's not going to come off overnight. And yet we're surrounded by options that say they can make that happen. And I think a piece of what we learned in this week's episode is that when we use quick fixes, when we opt for the thing that we think will help us check a box and move on, it may not be as great as we think it is, that there might be more work involved, that it might require some sustained effort. And The relapse, as I talked about it in our episode from fall of 2024, the weight regain, is real because physiology changes can happen with time. And yet we don't necessarily always allow the time on the other side because we have a microwave mentality or microwave mindset. So I see it all the time with pharmaceuticals versus nutraceuticals, right? Using nutrients. It takes longer sometimes because they're acting in a different way in the body. And it's possible in the end that they might be a better option if we're willing to let go of the microwave mindset and allow time and allow consistency to help us. So I implore everybody, give your body time, give yourself time. And if you hear that voice in your head that says it's not working, whether that's related to your food choices or your fitness or a supplement, or maybe you're applying for a new job and nothing's come through, right? Whatever it is, you hear that voice that says it's not working. Ask yourself a couple questions. How long were you not doing that thing? How long have you now been doing this thing? And are you doing this, or what are you doing? And is it at a pace that you could be consistent with? If it is, just keep going. So let's do an experiment, maybe if you're willing, for the next week or so, maybe even just the next day. Where do you notice your microwave mentality showing up? Right? Where are you opting for what seems like the shortcut, the easy button? And how is it serving you in the long run? So maybe together we can work on our microwave mindset. So Ferdinand, anything you want to add? What's going through your mind with this one?
No, I think it's interesting. I mean, I haven't heard the term before, but it kind of makes sense. What is a funny thing maybe to add? You said 9 and 10 in the US, in the UK. Oh, in the US, you said half a microwave.
Yeah.
I think Switzerland is much less. So it's interesting.
I'm sure.
Here, for example, you rent a house or an apartment. You will have, obviously, normally the kitchen is built in. But the microwave, in most cases, will not be there. And I think it's interesting. And I think here's a lot of worry about how bad it is. But it's obviously for many frozen things, it's very convenient. Yeah. I mean, I think convenience is definitely something there. And one wouldn't, to some degree, wouldn't want to miss it. But yeah, I can see also this whole idea of getting stuff done quickly. What is an easier way how to resolve it? Yeah, no, I agree. I can see it. And probably for some stuff, it's good. I mean, this is that, reading a book or watching the movie.
Right, for sure. So, it's a balance, right? We want to choose the places where the microwave mindset helps us. I mean, I think that's the piece, right? Is recognizing where it shows up and to remind ourselves to let it go. I'm like, in this moment, I'm like, what's the opposite, right? Like, what would be the opposite of a microwave mindset? Like, the only thing I can think of is slow cooker, but that just does not have the same ring to it. So I don't know. If you have an idea of another thing to call it, send it in. We're going to come up with something together. Well.
No, I'm thinking, I mean, the slow version of the microwave, yeah.
Right.
There's sometimes you need it also fast. Sometimes it's good.
Right.
So but I think it also, if you just think from the food side, it can also be beneficial. I think certain things, heating them up. I mean, if you put them in the stove, heating up with the microwave is a good thing. Sometimes actually the joy in actually not being too fast. I mean, if you go somewhere, you don't want it to be over too quick. You meet a friend.
Right.
You want to actually spend time with the friend and not just being done. If you could fast forward that, I mean, just ticking the box how many friends you've met in a weekend. I'm not sure if that's what you really would want to do.
Well said, for sure. Well, as always, friends, I'm your host, Jen Trepeck. Connect with me on Instagram or all social media. I'm at Jen Trepeck, JENNTREPECK. Website is asaladwithasideoffries.com. Pick your platform, send a message. I love hearing from you, your takeaways, your ideas, your questions. This is also the easiest way to learn more about working with me as your health coach. Professor Dr. Ferdinand von Meijn, thank you so much again for being here and joining us.
It was great. Thanks a lot and enjoyed it. And wishing you a wonderful rest of the week. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you. And friends, if you are not already, join our membership by going to glow.fm/salad with a side of fries. This shows your support for this podcast, this community, and most importantly, your health. You'll get this week's recipe for the roasted artichoke hearts and details for your quarterly live Q&A. Well, friends, that's it for today's episode of Salad with a Side of Fries. Congratulations for making yourself and your health a priority. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to click subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform. Share us with a friend, and we'll be back next week. Always remember, you deserve it, and you are worth it. Happy healthy.